Chapter 5, The Muslim League. In this chapter, for the syllabus, we would have to study only the objectives of the Muslim League. But for that, we have to know the reason why the Muslim League was formed. ये Muslim League बना कैसे? It was from the Congress that the Muslim League was formed. When Bengal was partitioned, the Congress began to aggressively demonstrate against the partition. There were many anti-partition movements all over India, especially in West Bengal. But the way the anti-partition movement was taking place, it looked not secular but more of a communal angle, because the protesters were asked to assemble at the banks of the river Ganga or any other holy river, take a dip in the sacred river, chant Bharat Mata Ki Jai, and such other chants which gave a Hindu tint towards the anti partisan movement. So the Muslims felt that the movement was more a Hindu one than a national movement, because there were many other events which led to the feeling in the minds of the Muslims that they are being alienated. First and foremost, when the British came to India, it was the Mughals who were ruling over India. So the Mughals lost their sovereignty to the British rule. The Mughals were dethroned by the Britishers. Therefore, the Muslims became a bitter enemy of the Britishers. There were many movements such as the Wahhabi movement, which aimed to end the British domination in India. Then the Muslim also, along with the Hindus, they took part in the uprising of 1857. Okay, the British government consistently discriminated against the Muslim, holding the Muslim responsible for the uprising of 1857. So after the revolt of 1857, then the British had their policy of divide and rule. They saw that the unity between the Hindus and the Muslims as a threat to their existence in India. Thus, to check the growth of a united national feeling in India and to encourage communal and separatist tendencies in India, they decided to follow the policy of divide and rule. How did they do this? First and foremost, in 1871, during Lord Mayo's government, the government adopted a resolution which made Urdu the medium of instruction for Muslims in primary and secondary schools, and increased government aid to educational institutions run by the Muslims. Then, secondly, they tried to create a hatred among the Hindus and the Muslims by portraying the Muslim rulers as plunderers and Hindu rulers as the cruel kings of the Muslim subjects. Then they tried to justify the partition of Bengal by convincing the Muslims that Bengal was being partitioned to create a new Muslim majority province where the Hindus would not be able to subvert their interest. Then they tried to utilize the caste structure of India to turn the non-Brahmins and the lower caste against the high caste. They also tried dividing the Hindus and the Muslim and the Sikh by giving them separate communities and accepting their communal leaders as authentic representatives of all their religionists. They tried to spread communal hatred through press, through posters, through literature, and through public platform. The main reason for the Muslim community to stay away from or start to think about they being different from the Hindus was their relative backwardness. The upper class Muslims, they comprised of the zamindars and the aristocrats. During the first 70 years of the 19th century, they were anti-Britishers, but they conservative and hostile. They were conservative and hostile to the modern education. Because of this, the number of Muslim educated in the Western system of education remained very, very small. The British government in India had consciously discriminated against the Muslim after 1858 because they thought they were responsible for the revolt of 1857, and they did not recruit them into civil and military services. The Muslim community was not much involved in the growth of any organized industry. Here too, they lagged behind. So some members of the Muslim community, they did not keep up with the modern trends in social and cultural spheres. This was because they were proud of their own literature and culture and did not adopt the Western system of education. Many Hindus, on the other hand, adopted the Western system of education since modern education was essential for entry into government jobs. The Muslim had to be at a disadvantage in this respect. Then the role of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was first a loyal Congress leader. He was quite secular in his outlook, but when he came in contact with the Britishers, when he was made to be in contact with the principal of the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, his view regarding the Hindu and the Muslim changed. Earlier, he thought that the Hindus and the Muslims to be of one com. Com means a nation. But when the Congress, when the Indian National Congress was founded, so Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he opposed it. He founded a United Indian Patriotic Association in 1888 with the view to oppose the Congress. So, in this effort, he was supported by Mr. Beck. Who is Mr. Beck? Mr. Beck was the principal of the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, Aligarh. Today it is known as the Aligarh University. Beck's idea was that Anglo-Muslims unity would possibly was possible, but Hindu-Muslim unity was not possible. So here, see, the Britishers were sowing the seed of hatred in the minds of an educationist, the one who would constantly be in contact with the younger generation, the brighter souls of the Muslim generation who would go in for education, and through Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, they began to spread the factor of difference between the Hindus and the Muslims. So all these things were equally responsible for the growth of difference between the Hindus and the Muslim, which ultimately led to the development of the Muslim League. So the formation of the Muslim League, the success of the Muslim deputation to the Viceroy. Okay, before the Muslim League was formed, a deputation was sent to the Viceroy Lord Minto to create a possible opposition to the Congress by using the Muslims. The Viceroy Lord Minto appointed a committee. It is known as the Arundale Committee to work out an expansion of the Legislative Council. Now this spurred some communal-minded Muslims to action. They decided to present an address to the Viceroy. Archibald, the new principal of the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, made the following suggestions on content of the address. The address should begin with a proclamation of loyalty to the British rulers. There should be an expression of fear that the general system of elections would harm the interests of the Muslims, as they were in minority. They should ask for some system of nomination or representation on the basis of religious belief. So this was put forth by the new principal Archibald, and the Muslim who were who wanted to take advantage of the expansion, the legislative expansion in the council, they went and met the viceroy with this proposal. So the success of the Muslim deputation to the viceroy motivated the Muslim to start a separate political organization. Nawab Salimullah of Dhaka, he took the initiative. In December 1906, when eminent Muslim leaders assembled at Dhaka in connection with the Mohammedan Educational Conference, he arranged a meeting to consider such a proposal. The proposal to form a central organization for Muslim was accepted, and a political association, All India Muslim League, was set up on December 30, 1906 under the presidency of Nawab Salimullah. Aga Khan was elected as the permanent president of the Muslim League. Its headquarters was to be at Aligarh, but its central office was shifted to Lucknow in 1910. Now, according to the syllabus, this is the most important part that we are reaching here, and that is the aims and objectives of the Muslim League. This is the only thing that they are going to ask from this chapter, the aims and objectives of the Muslim League. The objective of the Muslim League was laid down as follows. First, to promote among the Muslims of India support for the British government and to remove any misconceptions regarding the intentions of the government in relation to the Indian Muslims. So the first objective, see what's the first objective? To promote among the Muslims of India support for the British government. That means this was totally against the Congress. The Congress wanted the British government to leave India. Whereas the Muslim League here is promoting a sort of a harmony among the Muslims and the British government. So they wanted to remove, according to them, any misconception, any misinformation, any false ideas, false notion regarding the British government and the intention of the government in relation to the Indian Muslims, that the government would favor the Indian Muslims. The second point, the second aim of the Muslim League was to protect and advance the political rights and interests of the Muslims, and to respect and to represent their needs and aspiration to the government in mild and moderate language. The Muslims felt that the Congress was a party of the Hindus. It was not a secular party, but a party of the Hindus, where mostly all the important positions in the Congress was being given to the Hindus. And their demonstrations, their morchas, their agitations were more of Hindu culture than of a secular type. So they felt threatened, and they wanted equal rights in the political system of the country. So they decided to start this new political organization called as the Muslim League. The main intention was to protect and advance their political rights and interest of the Muslim, and to represent their needs and aspiration to the government in mild and moderate language. It would not be a demand, but it would be mild and moderate language. And the third important objective of the Muslim League, the aim of the Muslim League, was to prevent the rise of feeling of hostility between the Muslims of India and other communities. Since there was a feeling that was growing that of being anti-Hindu or a separatist feeling belonging to a different community, they wanted that the youth should not enter into any sort of communal violence. And so to prevent this, they wanted to form the Muslim League. So finally, the Muslim League was established on December 30, 1906 under the presidency of Nawab Salimullah. Okay, so what we see that, see how all the events unfolded. Bengal was partitioned in 1905, and this created a wedge between the Hindus and the Muslims. Then Lord Minto, the viceroy, received a deputation of the Muslims at Shimla in October 1906 and assured that the Muslims that the political rights would be safeguarded. Then the Mohammedan Education Conference was held at Dhaka in December 1906, and it accepted the proposal to form a central organization for the Muslims. This was known as the Muslim League, and it was established on December 30, 1906, under the presidency of Nawab Salimullah. The aims and objective of the Muslim League was to promote among the Muslims support for the British, to protect and advance the political rights and interests of the Muslims, to prevent the needs of and aspiration, to present the needs and aspiration of the Muslims to the government, and to prevent the hostility between the Muslims of India and other communities. What impact did the Muslim League have on the national movement? Okay, though this is not important, we'll just discuss it in very short. In the beginning, the Muslim League stood apart from the national movement, opposed the anti-partition movement and the Swadeshi movement and the boycott movement. Provisions of separate electorates was granted in the Minto Morley reforms. Then change in the attitude of Muslim towards the Congress during Lucknow Pact of 1916. Then the Muslim League raised the demands for Pakistan. Jinnah put forward his two nations theory, which led to the creation of Pakistan in 1947. See what happened in the Lucknow Pact? The joint scheme of political reforms agreed to by both the Congress and the Muslim League in 1916. This is known as the Lucknow Pact. The circumstances leading to the Lucknow Pact, first of all, the change of attitude of the Muslim towards the Congress because of the pro-Turkey and the pro-Caliph sentiments. When the Congress were helping the Muslims to speak up against the treatment given to the Caliph, so the Muslims also felt that the Congress would be a better option than the Britishers, and they began to support the Congress. So they decided to meet at Bengal in 1916. This is known as the Bengal Pact, the Lucknow Pact. The annulment of the partition of Bengal in 1911, the change in the objective of the Muslim League, which made it agree that the Congress to have political goal for India, and the compromise between the assertive nationalists and the early nationalists. So all these things led to the partition of India. So that's how the Britishers were successful in dividing India on the community lines of Hindus and the Muslims.